Here is something strange. Students who train with grammar translation often know more grammar than anyone else in the room. They can label every tense, they can fill out all the blanks and even the hardest exercises. Yet the moment that you ask them a real question, they freeze. And it's not because they're shy, it's because grammar translation teaches a kind of grammar that can't breathe in conversation. It almost suffocates any kind of speaking. So let me show you why and what you can do to fix it. Hi, and welcome back to TESOL with Micky and Ide. I'm Micky, and today you and I are going to have a good look at grammar translation. And we're not going to throw it out, but we're going to look at it to try and understand why it can prevent our students from speaking and think about some enhancements that we can make. So let's go. Grammar translation has real strength, so it develops careful reading, it builds clear knowledge, supports translation skills, prepares learners for grammar-focused exams. The difficulty only really appears when we expect this method to produce fluent speakers. Grammar translation gives learners the rules, but it does not show them how to move those rules into spontaneous communication that can actually work in the moment with another person. I'm going to show you 3 quick enhancements that can work alongside the grammar translation method in TESOL. The first enhancement is to give grammar a job. Grammar translation teaches the form, so you as a teacher need to provide the purpose in which that form can be used. Here is a traditional version of an activity. Present perfect is have plus the past participle. So translate these sentences. Now here is an enhanced version. Find 3 experiences you share with a partner. You need to use have you ever. In this case, the grammar suddenly has something to do. It becomes meaningful. The rules move off the page and into conversation. This idea is consistent with communicative language teaching and also task-based learning. You keep the metalinguistic clarity, but you immediately give the grammar a communicative function. The second enhancement is inner speech. Now, we know that grammar translation gives students the rules, but learners still need an internal voice that will help them to plan and help them to monitor their language use in real time. Here's a simple 4-step strategy on how external speech can be scaffolded to become internal speech via a planning strategy. Okay, stage 1 is you as the teacher have to model the planning aloud. So, for example, you would say to your students, I want to ask about experiences. I will start with have you ever, then I will ask a follow-up question. In stage 2, students have to copy the planning that you just modeled for them on their own with some quiet self-talk. So for instance, the students can sit on their own and say to themselves aloud, I want to ask about experiences. I will start with have you ever, then I am going to ask a follow-up question. In this stage, students are verbalizing the plan. In stage 3, students have to reduce the volume of their external speech to a whisper. So students will sit and whisper to themselves, I want to ask about experiences. I will start with have you ever, then I'm going to ask a follow-up question. In stage 4, the students have to sit in silence and move that voice inside and say to themselves, okay, so the voice has moved internally. And what this is going to do is that the planning stage has moved inside. So when the student comes to do the task, they want to access the knowledge that they've gained from the grammar translation method, but use their internal voice to apply it to a real communicative situation. So internal speech is what turns knowledge into performance. Grammar translation gives the what, and inner speech gives the how. The third enhancement is testing transfer. Now, grammar translation is excellent at checking accuracy on paper. But accuracy is not the same as transfer, which means using the grammar in a new context without prompt. So after teaching the present perfect, you can still use the fill in the blank activity to check the rules and to check understanding. However, then you have to add a transfer task. So, for instance, an instruction that you could give your students is interview your classmates for a travel blog who has the most interesting experiences. If the grammar emerges naturally through the communicative exchange, the learners are ready, and if it disappears, the knowledge is not fully internalized yet. They simply need more communicative practice. Finally, then, grammar translation still has important uses. When you're doing reading comprehension, when you're preparing for grammar-heavy exams, use it in translation classes. Use it when you're trying to build clear metalinguistic awareness among your learners. For speaking, this method needs a partner, and the enhancements that you can make sit quite comfortably with communicative language teaching and task-based approaches. To sum up then, grammar translation is clear, it's systematic, it's valuable. It just needs a little bit of extra support when it comes to speaking. So give grammar a communicative job, build inner speech through a staged practice, test transfer, not just accuracy. If you do these things, your students will stop freezing and start speaking with confidence. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of TESOL with Micky and Ide.